The PE ratio of Zomato is 387 right now. Do you know what that means? It means if you invest 1 lakh rupees in Zomato right now, it will take 387 years for Zomato to earn that money back. It is ridiculous. In this video, let me explain you how to analyze companies so that you know when to enter and when to exit these companies. This is chapter 2 of our fundamental analysis series. If you have not watched chapter 1, please watch it here. In that video, we covered what is market cap and how do you use it to make a great portfolio. In this video, we will cover everything about price and earnings and how these two are linked together. Now, my investing style is completely inspired by Peter Lynch and his book One Upon Wall Street. If you want to read that book, the link is in the description box. Now, we discussed in the previous video that Peter Lynch was always interested in small and mid-cap companies because he believed that small companies can make big moves. Now, in the context of Indian stock market, let me take you to Screener and explain you how to find those small and mid-cap companies. So, let's dive in. Okay, so this is the screener, screener.in. If you click on screens and then you click on create new screen, this is where you can write a query on screener. Now I'll attach this link also in the description, but you can also build your own query. Now we talked about market capitalization. Now if I write market capitalization greater than 500 crores. Why this? Because I want to filter out all the micro cap companies. I want only small and mid cap companies. Micro cap companies are usually very risky, so please avoid those. Now, and I also want just the small and mid cap companies, which basically means the market cap should be less than 20,000 crores. And if I run this query, this gives me 1448 results. Now we cannot invest in all 1448 companies, so we need a way to filter this out even further. In this video, we will talk about more parameters using which we can filter this list out. So let's begin. Now before we begin today's video, I have a few announcements. Every week, we pick 2 lucky winners from the comment section with whom I set up a 101 call, and you can ask me as many questions as you want. If you want to talk to me, comment on this video and I might talk to you next. That's the first thing. Second, now I use a platform named StockEdge to do the complete fundamental analysis. If you also want to use that platform, the link is in the description. You click on that link and if you use my coupon code Nawaz100, you will get 1 month free premium membership. So please try it and let me know if you liked it or not. Now, as we begin today's video, tell me one thing. What makes a company valuable? And why do you think this company will be more valuable in future than it is today? The answer is earnings. It depends on the earnings. And this is very similar to humans as well. Tell me something. What will make you more valuable tomorrow than you are today? It is based on your earnings or your earning potential or the assets that you have. Now, Peter Lynch has always classified stocks into 6 categories. And let's talk about all those 6 categories one by one. And we'll link every category of stock with a person as well so that it is easier for you to understand. Let's talk about the first category, which is slow growers. Now, people who work in extremely safe and secure jobs that pay very less money, these are actually slow growers. Example, you can think of any government job where the salary is less, but it is very secure. You won't lose your job. We have similar kind of stocks also in the stock market that are very safe, very secure companies that won't crash, but they grow very slowly. Example here I can think of is like ITC. Check the chart of ITC, you will see the company is very safe and secure. It won't just crash, but it will grow slowly. The second category that we have here is stalwarts. Now what exactly is stalwarts? Now imagine people who work in a private company as mid-level manager. Now these people have a good salary, but they have predictable raises. They can't just grow in a crazy fashion. These are all stalwarts. In terms of Indian stock market, we have stocks like Hindustan Unilever. These are really safe, secure, good companies that also grow at a decent pace, but you can't expect a crazy growth out of it. You cannot do that, but they are very safe and they'll also grow at a comparatively faster pace than a slow grower. Then we have the third category, which is cyclicals. Now think of these people. People who sell crackers during Diwali or people who organize summer camp. All these people earn majority amount of money during a cycle. And then there's a long stretch where they don't earn a lot of money. These are all cyclicals. And we also have stocks in the Indian stock market which are also cyclicals. An example I can here think of is Tata Motors. Now this is completely linked with automobile industry. If the industry performs really well, if there's a booming automobile industry, the stock would perform really well. But if the industry is struggling, the stock would struggle for a lot of years. Then we have the fourth category called as asset plays. Now what exactly is asset plays? Think of people who got a huge bungalow in Delhi from their ancestors. They have not done anything for it, but they have this huge property, huge assets, and they command a huge rental income from that. They have not done much for it, but they have all these huge assets. This is the fourth category called as asset plays. In terms of Indian stock market, we also have stocks like this that have huge assets that might not be working aggressively right now, but they have huge assets to back them up. Example here could be NCC Limited. Check the chart of NCC Limited, learn more about NCC Limited, and you will understand that it has huge assets. The company might not perform really well right now, but the assets are really huge, so it will help the company to grow even further. Then we have the fifth category called as turnarounds. Now these are all companies, and if I again link it back to people, these are the people who have, let's say, who have been laid off from their organization. They have no job right now, so they are figuring out what to do. So they might do something big because now they have all the time in the world to think about it, or they could just do nothing about it. And this is turnarounds. We have a lot of stocks in the stock market that are also turnarounds. For example, Yes Bank. The bank was really good a few years back, then some problems happened in the bank, the stock completely crashed, and then the bank is now again building its brand. It might build it and the stock would just 2x, 3x from here, or it would keep crashing if the bank is not able to show that it is doing something serious. Then we have the last category, which is the most exciting category, and this is fast growers. Now who are fast growers? Think of actors, musicians, even criminals. These are all fast growers. The risk is really high. They don't have a secure job, they have nothing, but if they do something big, imagine an actor cracking a really good movie or doing something really good and just one movie can make his career. Imagine a criminal looting a huge bank and having all those assets in just one go. These are all fast growers. There is a risk, but the growth potential is immense. And here again, if I talk about the stocks here, think of IDFC Bank. IDFC Bank is around 50,000 crore market cap, and the bank is as of now acquiring a lot of customers, doing all it can do for its customers. It has not reached the level of HDFC Bank, but if it is managed properly, if it works the way it is working right now, it has the potential to become the next HDFC Bank. And that basically means your money would get 10x or 20x from where it is right now. And these are all fast growers. Now it is extremely important for you to segregate all the companies that you have in your portfolio in these 6 categories and expect accordingly. You cannot expect a growth of a fast grower from a slow grower. If you have Hindustan Unilever, if you have ITC, you don't expect a growth like IDFC Bank's growth from these stocks. These stocks are really safe, will help you during a times of a crash. When there's a crash in the market, your stock portfolio would not completely crash because of these companies, but you can't even expect a double-digit growth, let's say 20-30% growth year on year from these companies, because these are huge companies and these are slow growers or stalwarts, versus IDFC Bank, where you can expect it to grow exponentially but also crash dramatically. Now once you understand all these 6 categories, now let's try to understand when to enter and when to exit these companies, and what is the most important criteria that should be looked at when you buy a company, and that is earnings. Understand this thing, a company's stock is directly linked to its earnings. If it deviates from the earnings line, it will come back to that line sooner or later. So you should always look at the earnings of the company. A quick way to tell if the stock is overpriced or not is to look at the price and the earnings line. If the earnings line is in a different direction than the price line, that basically means the stock is either overpriced or underpriced. Now, any serious discussion about price and earnings would involve talking about the PE ratio, also known as price to earnings ratio. The formula goes something like this. It is price of the stock divided by earnings per share. This will tell you how many years it will take for the company to earn the amount that you have invested in that company. For example, if the stock price is, let's say, 100 rupees and the company has earned 1000 rupees in this year and the number of outstanding shares are 100, that basically means earning per share is 10 rupees. And if the earning per share is 10 rupees, the price of the stock is 100 divided by 10, that basically brings the PE to 10, which basically means if you invest 10 rupees in this company, it will take 10 years for this company to earn this money back. Now, I want you to do a small exercise. Look at all the stocks that you have in your portfolio and check the PE of every single stock. You would see that some stocks are trading at, let's say, 100 or 80 PE and some are trading at 10 or 15 PE. What does that mean? See, it is also closely linked to future earnings. The PE ratio tells us that this will take this much amount of years to get this money back if the earnings remain consistent. But obviously, as a company, you expect the earnings to grow. And if the earnings grow, that will change the PE ratio as well, which basically means if people are willing to pay more, if the PE ratio is more for any company, that means people are more hopeful. They believe that that company will grow even further in the future. And if the P is less of any organization, that basically means that people are not hopeful. They don't think that company can grow at that pace, and hence they are not willing to pay that more price for that same earning of that company. But again, it is extremely difficult to predict the earnings of a company. Almost all the analysts every year fail to do it. They'll always predict the future earnings of a company and they would see the results would be very different. And that is the reason a lot of times when you would see the results of a company, when the earnings are really nice, they post good results, even then the stock crashes. Versus they predict some bad results, even then the stock price moves up. It is because the prediction was different than the actual results. Now let's tie it back to Zomato. In the beginning, I said the P ratio of Zomato is 387, and that basically means it will take 387 years for Zomato to earn the money that you invest in it. Should you invest in a company like that? See, I can tell you about how I would see it. I would never invest in a company that is trading at a P of 387. It is completely ridiculous. It will take 387 years for Zomato. Now, I agree Zomato is a great company. In fact, I still have a lot of shares of Zomato, but I was buying Zomato when it was at 50 rupees. Around 1.5 years back, I was aggressively buying Zomato because at that time the valuation was decent. As of now, the company is still great. I am not saying the company is bad. The company is great. Zomato definitely has a lot of potential to grow and it will grow. But the price, the P ratio it is commanding right now is 387. The price of the stock is completely overpriced. And hence, you might have a different perspective altogether. You can definitely buy Zomato if you want. But if you ask me, I would never buy Zomato at this value right now. In fact, I have cut most of my positions in Zomato because the valuation is just ridiculous. Now, I hope you understood this concept of P. So let's use that to refine our original list that we had on screen a bit further. Before we do that, tell me something. What is the goal when we invest in stock market? We want to earn money, right? We want to make money from the money that we have. How do we do that? It is only when you buy undervalued companies. There could be great companies out there, companies that are amazing, but they are, let's say, are at crazy valuation. Do you want to buy those? It makes zero sense to buy those companies. The company is great, but the valuation is crazy, so there's very less potential to grow wealth there. You'll make maximum wealth when you buy those undervalued companies, and that has a lot of potential to grow, and that is how you'll make maximum wealth. So now let's use this information to refine the list even further. I'm back on screener. Here I'm using the formula price to earnings is less than industry PE. Now what does that mean? See, every stock belongs to an industry. You could have a stock that belongs to chemicals, financials, IT or whatever. Now, there could be a lot of stocks in that industry. What we are trying to find using this formula is that stock, the PE ratio of that stock is less than the industry PE ratio, which basically means this stock is kinda undervalued. You can't say it right now just based on 3 parameters, but it is the first level of analysis we are doing. We'll use more parameters in the upcoming videos, but as of now, let's try to find the stocks that are trading at a lesser PE than the industry. Now, if I run this query from our original list, the list has been refined to 621. We just have 621 results. Now, if you look at these stocks, the PE ratio of this stock, for example, Hindustan Motors is 18.88, but the industry PE is 29.05. That basically means this stock is trading at a lesser PE, which basically means it could be a potential undervalued stock. But we can't say it right now just based on PE ratio. We'll do further analysis to find if it is really a good company and it is actually undervalued or not. But that is a topic for the next video. I'll stop the video now, otherwise it will get too long. I hope you learned something from this video. I'm gonna attach the queries link in the description box. You can use that. Please log into Screener, play around with these queries to find those stocks, and then in the upcoming videos I'll keep talking about more parameters, again inspired by Peter Lynch, to find the best set of companies where you can invest and expect your money to grow the most. I hope you learned something from this video. If you did, please press the like button. Also add a comment in the comment section. I read all the comments and would love to reply to your comment as well. Until then, keep investing in your dreams. Thank you.